Hello and welcome to an evening ride out with me, greenlaning, just outside Fotheringhay and Nassington in Northamptonshire. I am just on my way back now. I've been doing some drone footage, getting stuck a fair bit, and also crashing the drone into a tree. So it's been an eventful evening for me. But this part of the track that you're seeing now is usually, and I kid you not, probably about 5 feet tall, and it's been chopped down now, which is fantastic because you can see all of the hidden bumps and all the little divots that are going to cause you some issues, which when obviously it's long you can't see. So this is probably one of my favourite parts of this, actually, is doing this little mound. I don't usually do it in this direction, actually. I tend to do the loop the other way. But we're just nipping up to Nassington. There's a little ford there, so there's a bit of road driving to do. I've got GoPro recording and I've got my DJI mic. This is the first time I've used it whilst I've been riding, so hopefully I can edit it into something useful. But it is a glorious evening. We've had rain this morning, which has made the lanes nice and slippery on top, which is always great fun. And then we've had lovely sunshine and warm and dry weather all afternoon, and now we've got a lovely sunset to drive back to, so it's been a very, very nice ride today. But yeah, we're just travelling into Nassington now. There's a ford that I'm going to wash the quad off in. I tend to do this loop in this way for that exact reason. It tends to wash the underside of the quad better than I can with the jet wash. So I'll show you that very shortly. Just checking that, you know, when you feel like you've dropped something or forgotten something. I have been in that location where I just started this recording for a fair while, so I do feel like I've forgotten something. Hopefully not. So I'm currently riding a Canam Outlander 570 Max XT, which I've had for about a year now, and I've just renewed the insurance, which has gone down significantly because this was my first bike, and as a car license holder, obviously with no bike experience, they're going to want to charge you a little bit more. But, yeah, it's come down significantly, and that's also for both myself and my wife, because this is a two-seater version, so it's a Canam Outlander 570 Max XT, and the Max being the two-seater part of that. So we're not far off the ford now. We're going to go down here, and depending on, I mean, it has been quite dry up until very recently, so I can't imagine it's going to be that deep, but I do recall you have to put your feet up, otherwise you are going to end up with soggy socks. No one wants that. So we're going to go down this section here, and to the right, as I say, there is a ford. So we're just going to take that down there now. Here we go. Also, it's relatively full. I mean, I've seen it deeper, but I've also seen it shallower. So I'm just going to stick my feet up. There we go. Look at that. Oh yeah. Oh, nice. Giving us a nice little rinse. That's what we like. Yep, and then now this is a relatively short trail just back up to the main road. There is a old disused train railway bridge here. And excellently, the gate is open, so we can just go straight through. Now if you find a gate open, you leave it open. If you find it shut, you shut it. That's the general rule. I've not had a scenario where I've seen it open and then seen like farm machinery or anything, so I'm not so sure if that holds and whether people have just opened it and just left it open. But this trail and the lanes that I've been on today are all under a TRO, traffic regulation order, so they are shut between, I think it's the 1st of May and no, sorry, they open on the 1st of May and close on the 31st of October, essentially at midnight, going into the 1st of November. And that's obviously to protect them from damage, because these are pretty well used anyway. Northamptonshire are actually very good with their lanes. They do lock them and do unlock them at the right parts of the year and things. I know I literally came this year on the 1st of May as soon as I could come back on this route, because it's a fantastic route out to Oundle, where you can sort of do 2 hours there, have some lunch, do a little bit more out sort of Polebrook direction, and then you can turn around, come back and do it in pretty much 4 or 5 hours, which is really, really nice. And with this being 2-seater, it's great when we've got a weekend together and we can come and do something completely different. Stick the intercom on the headsets and out we go. So this quad does do 60 miles an hour, although it does, it's right at the top end if you are doing 60, which I don't like to leave the engine running at because it is working hard. So I tend to cruise at about 50 or so, where it's pretty much comfortable for the engine and you're not burning through fuel like there's no tomorrow. So generally it is very good at 50, and to be honest, that stops anyone from getting inconvenienced by you really on most of the roads around here. And obviously in sections I will do 60 where it's going to inconvenience people if I'm going slower, but this particular quad bike, even though it's the lowest sort of engine you can get in this range, it's more than adequate for both what I use it for on these green lanes and also on the road. So this one does have to swing back. And from experience, I know that this does sort of start coming back, so you have to sort of get through it before it comes and crushes your bike. There we go. Oh yes, it's good to see the mud on the lights. You know you've had a good day when the mud's got that far up and all over the back here. And obviously that has got quite a lot of the mud out of these guards and things as well, which is obviously quite handy. Well, there was loads of muck on here, but that Ford's taken them all nicely off the guards, which is really great to see. Obviously the headlights are all working still. I do like to check before I do sort of any long road sections after a heavy day on the lanes. I do like to check everything's working before I continue my journey. That's always good to know if you do have any defects or anything. Obviously you're not going to be able to do much about it here, but it's good to know that, oh, why are people still up my bum when I'm turning right? Oh, it's because my indicator doesn't work, that sort of thing. And if that is the case, you know then to use an arm signal instead of relying on an indicator that isn't there. I was actually chatting to a good friend of mine who I've known for a number of years, who's a big biker, and he's not had a road quad before. He has ridden quads, but not on the road, and he took it on a very, very bumpy section of his land when I went over to visit him, and he was really, really impressed with how these ride. This particular quad being better than some of the Hondas and the Polaris models he has experienced in the past. I kind of see the Canam as top of the line in terms of quad bikes. The again, this is my first one, but from the hours I've spent on YouTube watching quad bikes and researching them prior to purchasing this, they seem to have the best reviews and the best sort of support system, maintenance and everything than all of them. I mean, look, I'm only doing 45 and I'm being blasted with noise. I've got someone behind us, but say going up to 50, they're not inconvenienced at all. In fact, I'm leaving them now, so it's really not a problem. So a couple of the accessories I've got. Well, I've got the front moose box, and that is a absolute godsend for a lot of reasons. Before that, I had to kind of rely on having a rucksack on, which isn't that great. I mean, riding a quad bike means that it's called rider active, and what that means is you basically have to shift your weight around to make sure that you don't tip over in bends and things. You've seen I've not done that yet because there haven't been bends really requiring that, but that is how it works. So having a bag on can make it a little bit uncomfortable for long periods, and also makes it somewhat difficult to move your weight around quickly, because if you've got stuff in there, it can make it a little bit tricky and sort of throw yourself off balance, and that's never good when these things want to tip over anyway, and then you've got, you know, another addition to that. That's no good. So this is Wansford. We've just come out of Yarwell. He's still following us, but yeah, we've just got to do a quick bit on the A47, which is no real issue, to be honest. As I say, with the speed that this thing can do, it really doesn't matter. And I was saying earlier about just doing 50. Now, this is one of the few sections of road where I would say doing 60 is actually a good idea, because it is an A road. It's in between two sets of dual carriageway, and it's also off the A1, so people are going to be doing the top end of the speed limit, and I don't want people overtaking on this section because it is a dangerous bit of road. So I will make sure, if I'm able to, I'll go as fast as I'm legally allowed to avoid any sort of inconsiderate driving issues. So for road riding, I do have it in two-wheel drive. Four-wheel drive doesn't work that well, and that's just selected on the right-hand side here, just to where my thumb is. Actually, a slightly funny story from this evening's ride. It wasn't the fact that the drone clipped a tiny branch that obviously the obstacle detection didn't detect. It fell sort of 6 feet and was basically unscathed. But what did break it, or at least bent the arm, or one of the propeller arms, was me riding over it when it fell off the quad bike. Because I stuck it on the front here and just thought I'll move the quad bike forward for a better shot. And as I did that, it fell off the front and I sort of slightly rolled over one of the arms with the wheel, which wasn't good. There's no one behind me, so I don't need to, as I said about the speed, I don't need to kick the arse out of it right now. There's literally no one about. In terms of comfort, I mean, these things are so comfy for road riding, and then they're even better off-road, and that for me was the selling point. I mean, yes, you can get a little motocross bike or something similar, a trail bike, but this is just perfect because I don't have to put L plates on. I've got a full driving licence. I can ride it as quick as I want. basically like having a car, so I know if I go out, it's going to take me as long as it is in a car to get somewhere. I was tempted to do my bike licence at one stage. Well, I found this is just as fun, if not more fun, I think. Here we go. So there's 60. As I say, it will do a little bit quicker. Then, obviously you can't do that on the road, so if you are going to do it on the road, it's going to be on the carriageways. That's not going to fall out. Oh, lovely, look at that. Sunset with the hay bales. Lovely time of year. I think what I'm looking at in front is rain clouds. Van's catching me now, so I'll do a little bit more. The nice thing about quad bikes being automatic is you have a nice lot of engine braking. So unless you're at junctions and things, you really don't need to use the brakes. Okay, well we're a couple of miles away now, so I'll end the recording now. I hope you've enjoyed this sort of both commentary and music driven video. Please feel free subscribing if you want to see more, dropping some comments, dropping some likes or dislikes of course. Anything I could improve on, anywhere you think I should go. Until next time, it's been fun.